Hello and welcome to episode 8 of PodCast.
The triangle.
Indeed. Or if you're counting in binary, 3. That's right? 3?
Yeah,
that's right. No, 4.
Yeah, 4.
4. Sorry, if you're counting in binary, 4.
If it was 3, we'd have a problem.
See, the funny thing is nobody's counting in binary. Anyway, this week's JK pick is...
Bounce Away by Jake GWS. Just a very, once again, feels like the whole tabletop feel, like Pencil Planes did back 2 episodes. But it's just a lot of bounce pads, and there's a lot of point bubbles all throughout it. They decorated it perfectly, but the way they set up the point bubbles is it's the exact path you're supposed to go, which I like when levels use the point bubbles to direct your path. If they still have other references, the point bubbles are great for that. I don't even really know how to describe the level other than just a lot of going up, launching across, bounce pads, and coming back across. But they have like little hidden, well, not so much hidden because they say that there's a bonus direction that way. It's just harder that way. Like they'll have spikes over a gap that you have to jump, or jump between spikes to get around. Minor stuff like that. Problems with the level is there's a spot where there's only one bounce pad it's a bounce pad on one layer instead of all 3, and it wouldn't have been much trouble. But if you're on the wrong layer, when you head over that way, you fall behind it or you fall in front of it.
There's an unnecessary pause in the action.
Yeah. It's a very fast level too if you do it right. I got through it in a minute and a half when I was rushing.
It's a short level, but it is quite a good deal of fun for bouncing around and whatnot.
One thing I'm not sure why they did, the checkpoints are forward one layer from the back, so you can occasionally get caught behind it because you'll run past and you aren't meant to be on that layer, so you just kind of get stuck behind it. But it's a good play, fun one.
And it shouldn't, if the author wanted to fix it, it would not take long to do. So that's always nice. Next up is the Durman pick, which this week is Shadow of the Colossus Side B by A. Tzulith.
Zillith. I think the T's sound. Looks like the T would be sound.
Anyway, it is a Shadow of the Colossus level, of course, for Little Big Planet. And it looks like Shadow of the Colossus. It's very well done. They captured the feel of Shadow of the Colossus. It has a lot of mist. It has very drab colors, which fit the theme perfectly.
Good sense of humor thrown into it too.
Yeah, they have their own little play on the thing, which is pretty funny. Let's see. There are 2 colossi that you fight. The first is a great big sackbot with the Shadow of the Colossus gear.
Which I think they made that one really easy, just because in the original story the first one's easy. So.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of fun. You just kind of jump at it and grab it and you cut it up. That's kind of fun. But the second one, now for one thing, you have to do a great big platforming section to get to it, which is very Shadow of the Colossus-like. It's very cool. But the thing itself is massive, and it's made the way I think a Colossus should be made in Little Big Planet, by having actual pieces that move around and can crush you with its feet, and it's got a sword that can smash you, and it shoots lightning out of its finger.
I think my favorite thing was the wobble bolts down on the feet, just that the feet were tilting slightly as you stepped down. Minor, but beautiful.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's the little tiny details that really make the difference in a level. The only problems with the level that we could find are, well, for one, there is kind of a lack of a sense of direction, especially if you've never actually played Shadow of the Colossus. You don't really have a real clear sense of where you're supposed to be going.
Beat the first boss, then go back to the temple.
You need to go down before you go back. And also, there are a couple of puzzles that they don't really clearly tell you what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you try to go through this door that you can't figure out how to open, but you just have to run back and the door opens up. And also, the big Colossus fight at the end, it starts slowly.
Extremely slowly.
Yeah, you have to run off to the side and see the Colossus, and then it starts walking towards you, and then you have to run all the way back, and you have to wait for it to catch up to you before you can do anything. So, apart from those, which I don't think would be particularly hard to change, this
the time
level
thing would just say spawn the Colossus closer.
But it's the best Shadow of the Colossus experience that you're going to find in the Little Big Planet. But I'm a big Shadow of the Colossus fan. If you can prove me wrong on this, I want to see it.
I want to see a level series now that I think about it. Like each level have a boss.
Yeah, that would be extremely cool. I've actually thought about doing that. That's another story.
Hard to do. But.
The podcast pick this week is
Little Big Flowers by Kausgear. Chaos Gear.
It's
had a
hyphen equals little.
Hyphen. I'm sorry. Hyphen equals little hyphen big hyphen flowers equals hyphen by Chaos Gear.
Yes.
Happy?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a very nice level because it is a great platforming level. It is made extremely well. The platforming sections go together very well.
Medium hard difficulty.
Yeah. There aren't any really visible gaps between sections, which is always nice.
They decorated enough to keep the flow going, definitely.
But on the other hand, the decorations are sort of sporadic. Like there'll be a whole lot here, but then you go a little bit further to the sides, or there aren't, and there isn't a whole lot, or there is a lot of decoration on one layer, but not another layer.
Yeah.
So that's not a big deal. There are very nice traps and reflex challenges. You have to be very quick with the R1 button a lot in this level, which is very, very nice.
Oh, and little thing. Every time you grab, whatever you grab squeaks. Everything. I don't know if you caught that, but every single little thing squeaks.
Mm-hmm. Another slight problem. Another slight problem is that in some cases it's hard to see what you're supposed to be doing. There are several levers throughout the level that are very difficult to see. Three very hard to see levers.
One's behind a tree branch. Another one
is kind of tucked off into a corner where it's not particularly
there's a leaf in the way of it.
Last
one they at least cut a little hole out of the window.
Yeah, so that made it easier to see, but it's still tricky.
Just need an R1 sticker stuck nearby.
And one thing that I've seen happen in several different levels, and namely in platform levels when you have to do a lot of jumping, is when you make an uneven platform for a character to land on, when you're running across the side, if you have a little peak right before it drops off, like for the very edge of the platform, that peak will make you go up into the air for a second. And if you're running at full tilt and you hit that little peak and then you press the jump button, your jump button won't do anything. So you'll fall straight into a gap because you press the jump button while you're in the air and nothing happened.
Those jumps are really hard on their own, too.
Yeah. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're making levels, is to make sure that the running and jumping works well. Try to have fairly even surfaces to jump off of, or at least don't have peaks on them that you can get flung into the air off of. But anyway, apart from that, very cool level. This week's M&M pick is Life by G. Hudson UK. This is a mini game.
He's better at explaining this one, because this one's just neat to me, but I don't...
Yeah, it's logic-based simulation that I've seen similar things to online, where basically you put down points on a grid, and then you start a simulation, and then the points that you put down interact with each other to make shapes. And the way that they make these shapes is dependent on where or what points you have activated. So it's very fun to play with. There's no points, no scoreboard or anything, but it's very fun to mess with. The visual style is very cool. It actually looks kind of like my Pix level, which makes me happy. Like gears in the background and everything. The only bad thing I can say about this level is that there is next to no explanation. Now,
the level description was awful.
Yeah, it just says the game of life comes to Little Big Planet. That tells me that there's a Parker Brothers game.
That's what I thought when I read it.
But the actual thing itself is very different. So I think that you just need to have some sort of explanation to describe what's going on. Because, the controls are very clear. They're listed on the actual game, like what the controls are. But there's no description. So that's...
was a yawn. That weird face was a yawn.
Okay, just making sure. So yeah, definitely check that one out. Mess with it for a while, and it's fun to have. It's a good time waster, if anything. So that's it for our picks this week.
News. Our fan art contest ends next Saturday, Friday at midnight?
Friday at midnight.
Friday at midnight. So definitely send that in. We don't have much competition in this, so you have a chance.
Yeah. If you want to be a part of the fan art contest, you need to get your submission in this week.
That will make you scroll down here.
Because we will stop taking subscriptions Friday at midnight. Because we need to have time to go over them.
Submissions.
Whatever.
You said subscriptions.
You know,
We're not selling magazines here.
Go back to your English class and let us... Okay. And in other news, Media Molecule is making a new game.
We have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
At all. So...
Yeah, I mean...
But no matter what, we're pretty sure it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, you can only assume that it'll have sort of the same feel of Little Big Planet, the same spirit, and as long as it has the same spirit, it's going to be great. That's all I can say about it. Sticky Notes this week is a nice quality of life sort of thing for creators.
Very simple. Many of you probably already know this, but in case you don't, basically, highlight a section of things, say hologram, lights, whatever. If they're the same thing and you highlight them, you can press square on them and you can edit all of them at once, no matter what they are.
So if you have a whole bunch of lights, like in an area, and you decide that you want to change the color, just select them all, hit square, and you can change every single light at the same time.
Time saver.
Yeah. Makes it quality of life sort of thing. Woo! Comments and creators this week is something that I would definitely like to see. I'm a big fan of That Game Company.
What game company?
You know, That Game Company?
Which one?
That one.
Are we going to do Abbott and Costello here? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
In any event, they're the makers of Flow, Flower, and the upcoming game Journey. All these games are very cool. They're very artistic. Lots of fun to play around with.
I'm now disappointed that Journey doesn't include the word flow somewhere in its title.
Yeah.
Because the other two do.
I see what you
Flow,
did there.
Flower, and...
Journey Flow.
Flurney.
Anyway, I would like to see this be a medium pack. So I would like there to be a costume from Journey. So the red headdress with the face mask. The
I
glowy...
want a Flow costume.
That'd be difficult. the glowy eyes, the scarf, which would be interesting if they could make it so that it changed the length depending on your expression or whatnot.
Oh, that would be cool.
Of course, the overshirt, the parka type thing, and the red pants. So there wouldn't be a whole lot to it, but it would be very cool. And it would also be cool if it glowed, depending, like, if you smiled, then it would glow.
I want a black skin that doesn't reflect any light.
Yeah, like a matte black skin.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, too. Then also, I would like to see flower decorations, so just an array of flowers and various other kinds of foliage. Maybe also some, like, power lines and that sort of towers and that sort of type thing. That'd be cool. And also... for both Flower and Journey, I would like to see grass and sand materials from those games. Various colors, various textures.
Sparkly sand.
Sparkly sand and sparkly grass as well. Just like at the very tips, you just kind of have little glowy things like you'd see in Flower. And then, of course, stickers from all the games. Because Flow has very cool sort of geometric shapes. Flower has your nature shapes. And Journey has cool sort of tribal Aztec sort of details and whatnot.
That works as a description for it.
Yeah.
I was thinking Mayan.
Yeah, Mayan, Aztec, it's in there somewhere. But definitely cool. When Journey comes out, definitely check it out.
If you're in the beta, if you got the beta, you better be playing it.
Yeah, because it's... oh man, I like that game so much. It's not even out yet. But anyway... back to games that are out yet. Go play Little Big Planet. That is all that we have for this week.
You have homework.
Yes, you have homework. Draw us pretty pictures.
Draw us pictures and play levels.
Yes. Check out our website, podcastlbp.com. Well, you will be linked to our blog. Check out our Twitter, same name. Our gallery levels will be updated before too terribly long. Send fan art to the email. Send with your PSN name, of course. Levels to Twitter.
Oh, really quick, our podcast pick level is going to have a sticker for our podcast in it now, so post it everywhere.
Yeah, check out the sticker. If you like us, then if you feel like it, toss it in there.
What do you mean if you feel like it? Do it. Being too nice to them.
Indeed. Advertisements for podcasts, hint hint, make great billboards, hint hint. If you're making a city level, hint hint, make it billboard, hint hint.
Thanks, Troph. We appreciate that.
Yes, you sir are awesome. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
You get a shout out for that.
So, have a great week in the cosmos, and we will see you again next week.
Bye.
Imagination!